House Democrats unveiled changes to border bill to win over progressives. All right, so this is happening right now. House Democratic leaders on Tuesday, which is today, unveiled a set of changes to the $4.5 billion package to address the flow of migrants at the southern border in an effort to win over skeptical progressive and Hispanic lawmakers. Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leaders met with members of the Progressive and Hispanic caucuses late into the night on Monday to win over their support to pass the legislation the House is expected to consider on Tuesday, which I'm assuming is later today. The changes unveiled by the House Appropriations Committee include requiring Customs and Border Protections to establish health standards for children and adults in custody, including for nutrition and hygiene. They would also require the Department of, to submit a plan to ensure that all migrants have access to translation services. They would limit the amount of time that unaccompanied migrant children can spend in an arrival shelter unless the Department of Health and Human Services notifies Congress. Oh, and also, in the statement, the White House expressed displeasure that neither bill includes funding for more detention beds. Okay. And there's another bipartisan, quote-unquote, bill that's floating around. Why is it only progressives or appointed progressives that want all those things? What's happening at the border is absolutely horrific. What we're doing to children at the border is absolutely beyond appalling. And that's putting it gently. And here's a bill that just calls for basic humane things that never should have been in question in the first place. Basic hygiene, basic nutrition. They're treated with dignity. Seeking asylum is not a crime. The crisis at the border, quote unquote, is a crisis that we made. It's a crisis that the brutality of ICE made, and the brutality of our treatment of people seeking asylum, seeking conditions that were brought upon by climate change in most cases, and were brought upon by our sanctions. That's the only crisis in existence. There is no crisis of mass immigration. These are people seeking asylum. And it's amazing. I mean, they're just calling for basic human protections. And they're referring to this as we want to appease the progressives by treating the people that come to our border like human beings. By not putting them in cages and denying them food and toothpaste. We want to treat them like human beings. This is to appease progressives. So this is new breaking legislation. We're still watching all this unfold. We'll see what happens with this. But they're basically just calling for basic nutrition, not separating families for too long, aka toothpaste. Oh, and they're not even calling for more beds, because, beds, who needs those? This is unbelievable, and this is to appease the progressives. You're a huge lefty if you think that people coming to the border seeking asylum deserve to be treated like human beings. Man, wow, You're far out in left field there. You're far out in left field there. Even though the whole thing about this, give me your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That was something that we apparently celebrated. Now you're a huge lefty if you entertain that sentiment. All right, so let's see if there's any more to this here. Now here's something interesting. So Pelosi noted that the legislation is a funding measure, not an immigration reform bill, emphasizing the importance of getting the money to the border to deal with the crisis as the first step of a longer debate. It's an appropriations bill to meet the needs of our children. This is what Nancy Pelosi said. We have to have a country where every child knows that they are in their parents' arms, literally or figuratively. Yeah, if it's figuratively, they're still going to be fine. That's... Hey, I'm a child. I'm scared and I'm confused and I'm in this cage. You are figuratively in your parents' arms. You're figuratively, man. What a nice incremental statement that was, huh? If it can't be literally, if we gotta separate them, figuratively, they're in their parents' arms. We're gonna treat them with basic human decency, which is figuratively like being in your parents' arms. Don't you remember whenever you were scared as a child, if just a friendly neighborhood ICE agent just came up to you and said, hey, figuratively, you're in your parents' arms. You felt fine. Immediately, right? Like, isn't that how it works? Unreal. And this is a progressive idea, by the way. By the way, treating people that come for asylum with basic human decency. Not putting children in cages and denying them food and toothpaste. treating people like human beings. That's some crazy lefty idea. The Democrats just had to cave to these progressives that were like, oh, we should treat human beings like human beings. Blah, blah, blah. I bet they want us to give them all a pony next. This is unreal. And then there's another bipartisan bill out there. None of them even call for more beds. So we'll see what happens with this. This is new legislation. We're still watching the details unfold. We're still watching the process unfold. So we'll see what happens. It's expected to pass the House. We'll see more of the details about it and what it does after that. But there's some breaking news that there is some talk of something being done about the brutal situation at the border.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make